So the first section we're going to look at is reasons for living. Ian, why are these important?
Well, this is probably one of the key areas of the safety plan. This explores our own ideas of ambivalence. It helps us understand that we are going to have our own reasons for wanting to die, but it helps us understand that we do have reasons for living as well. And essentially this whole part of the safety plan connects us to hope. It connects us to that belief that things can change and that we can overcome these thoughts and these feelings.
Fab. So what type of things might be our reasons for living?
Well, they're going to be really unique to each individual. They could be related to our friends, to our family members. They could even be faith-based reasons. They could be positive affirmations. They could simply be that belief and that hope that things can improve, that we can get through these difficult moments and that we can overcome our thoughts of suicide. But they are going to be unique to each and every individual completing a safety plan.
Family and friends is the top one, and you know, when I felt down, it's been, you can spiral into that mind frame of nobody really cares, you're a burden on people, and you begin to self-isolate, which is very dangerous. So you know, it's lies that my mind can tell me. So having that there, that, you know, family and friends do care, it helps keep a touch on sort of reality, I guess. So yeah, family and friends. There's a lot that I still want to experience in life. I would like to travel some more. See different places. Kind of, there's a lot of potential in the future, which sometimes I do need to kind of remind myself that there is, but that's one of the best things about having the safety plan.
So I knew you were going to ask this question, so I wrote it down because this is really important to me. So hope and future planning is so vital, because when you are in that mindset and you're struggling to get out of it, hope and future planning is a main factor which you can ignore. I remember seeing no future. I was taking each day as it comes, but the second I found out my sister was pregnant, a little bit of hope spiked for me, and then I could see little bits of my future being the best auntie I could be.
Okay, so why do we need them written down?
Firstly, it acts as a nice reminder. If we've got perhaps a photograph of a relative or a loved one, or that positive statement written down, placed in places that are around our home, it just acts as a nice reminder. It just keeps it at the forefront of our mind and is encouraging us to stay safe, perhaps when our thoughts become a little bit too much.
I knew that life was going on around me even if I wasn't part of it, and good things were happening. They were happening to other people and maybe a bit to me, but I sort of thought I would create a list. I couldn't write extensively, but I thought I would create a list each day of positive things that I saw or that happened to me. First of all, the list was only 2 or 3 things long, but I forced myself to go out and I would force myself to notice things. So it might be something as small, really tiny, like a flower growing through a crack in the pavement, or a baby smiling at me over his mum's shoulder, you know, something like that. And I would take note of it and then write it in my journal. And then I read the journal, the list. I'd write it in the evening and then I would read it in the morning before I got up. And it was a reminder that positive things had happened the day before, and so they could again the next day.
Well, I say I've got 2 teenage kids, which I love dearly, and I've got 2 stepkids. I've got a dog. I love my dog to bits, taking my dog out for walking, and obviously a loving partner, and obviously a close family network around me.
I found the reasons for living section useful because it made me realise that I do actually have lots of reasons for living, and that they outweigh the reasons for dying. I identified that my dogs are very much my reason for living, my 2 border collies, and also members of my family who I want to be around to see and watch them grow. I think it's important to look to the future, because you can get very stuck in where you are at any given moment, and kind of realising that there is a future to be had out there, and there's lots of things to see and lots of things to do. Yes, because they're a good reminder. To have them written down is something to look at and remind myself when I can't see any reason for living, when things are really bad and all I want to do is disappear. Having those reasons written down so that I can see them and look at them is really important to me.
But what happens if I'm doing this and I can't think of a reason at the moment? What then?
Well, that's okay. This section can be filled out at any time, and I think it's remembering that the fact that you're here today filling out a safety plan is reason enough to feel hopeful that you want to try and keep yourself safe from these thoughts or feelings. But don't give yourself a hard time if you can't figure one out right now. Sometimes we might need a little bit of help to do this as well.
I would like to say to them, take your time. It might not feel like there's reasons right now, but there is, and it just takes time to find them.
At the time, it can feel very difficult to complete because it can be a very dark place. But there's always something to live for. There's always someone that we have an impact in our life. Dark times, they do happen, and it's a bit of a cliche when people say it will get better, but life, it does ebb and flow, and it really does. There will be good days ahead as well. So it's worth holding on